right. So welcome to the Center for Applied AI, our Lunchbox or Lunch and Learn webinar. We call it both. I want to remind everybody to please mute your microphones as you join so that we don't interfere with the speaker. My name is Ed Mellick. I'm the Director of Business Development and Responsible AI for the Center. I'm going to introduce today's speaker shortly, but first I want to give a quick word about who we are and what we do. The Center for Applied AI is part of UMBC Training Centers. We are a DC, Baltimore-based nonprofit, and the Center for Applied AI provides a whole host of AI-related services. They include, you can see on the screen, a number of things. The big part of that is professional education and development. We offer classes focused on AI and leadership, AI and a whole host of technical topics, things like machine language and data science with Python, cybersecurity, and AI. We focus on responsible AI, AI as it relates to the federal government. If you go to the QR code to the right and go to our website, you'll see a whole list of classes that you can take. We also provide consulting services. We have a handful of people on staff who have worked with major consulting firms and on their own and everything in between. So we'll do AI strategy sessions with our clients. We'll do implementation support to implement the outcome of those strategy sessions. And we also have an innovation lab. And finally, we have the technical lab. We do a lot of research and experimentation on a number of interesting topics. One of them that's very near and dear to me is some research we've done over the past few months on deepfake detection platforms. And in 2 weeks, we're going to be giving a lunch webinar on that. So just a little snapshot. If you'd like to contact us, please reach out to us at info@c4ai.ai. So now for today's presentation. We're joined by Joe Tebow. He's the founder and CEO of a company called Cursive Technology. And he's going to be talking about a rather novel approach that uses AI to promote integrity in the writing process rather than simply using AI to say, hey, this is generated AI technology or not. So Joe, first of all, thank you for joining us. And please take it away. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and then hand it over to you. We're joined by Omo Clark. She is a PhD candidate at UMBC, who also had a very interesting career as an entrepreneur and software developer before she started those studies. She's going to be sharing the results of a deepfake detection tool survey, market survey that she conducted over the summer. So without any further ado, Omo, thanks for joining us, and please take it away.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks everyone for coming in. My name's Omo Clark. As Ed said, I'm a PhD student, but over the summer, I've been working with the Center for Applied AI, looking specifically into deep fakes. So watch this video, tell me what you think.
I'm talking about my stock options and the importance of insider trading for my portfolios. So we have to handle this with care. It might appear unethical, that's for sure. There's no question about that. But trust me, I'm just a really lucky gal in terms of my trades and the rest. And you have no idea how truly lucky I am. And what they say is luck won't make a difference. No, it will make the difference. I'm feeling a lucky streak coming on again real soon. Somebody get me a vodka. Aunt Nancy's thirsty.
So
I've never been with a gangster.
Sorry. So deepfake is a buzzword at the moment. Most of us would have come across one form of deepfake or another, at least in the last 1 year. For example, you might remember the viral image of the Pope in a puffer jacket, or you may have heard about Joe Biden, the robocall mimicking Joe Biden's voice with accuracy just before the New Hampshire Democratic primaries, urging voters not to participate in the election. And then just recently, Elon Musk shared a manipulated campaign video of VP Kamala Harris on X, where her voice was altered to make it seem as if she was making false statements about Joe Biden and her own qualifications. Listen to this video of Obama. Let me know what you think about whether it actually accurately captures his voice. You can leave your comments in the chat box.
But
they squares.
Not squares, but I like
They're just a regular guy.
good boys and girls. Yeah, that's
So before we actually get into it, what are deepfakes? The term deepfake is a combination, or a portmanteau, as they say, of the word deep learning, which is a subset of AI, and fake. Deepfakes are synthetic media generated through deep learning techniques, primarily using deep neural networks to create highly convincing fake content. For example, in images, it could be by swapping faces which manipulates people's expressions, or even synthesizing entire videos. The sole purpose is to create the illusion that someone or something someone is doing or saying something that he did not actually do. And while deepfakes can have legitimate applications, such as in entertainment or even in medicine for simulating complex procedures or in training, they pose significant risks, as we've seen in some of these videos. So, like, just a short history about the of modern deepfakes. So all manner of fakery have been going on for a while, but modern deepfakes using generative AI started becoming prominent in about 2014, where a chap called Ian Goodfellow and his team developed generative adversarial networks, GANs, which became the foundation for modern deepfake technologies. And then in 2017, a Reddit user popularized the word deepfake when he introduced a subreddit called r deepfakes, dedicated to creating and spreading explicit AI edited videos that use GANs to combine a celebrity's facial feature with the body of an adult actress, creating a realistic looking video. And that process is called face swapping. 2019 was really significant for deepfakes. That's when political ads started appearing, like the ad of Nancy Pelosi. And then, and it was global, from India to Hong Kong, everywhere. And then a website called This Person Does Not Exist, I don't know if some of you guys have heard of it, actually sprung up. That website uses GANs to create completely synthetic, realistic looking human faces, and it's really gained widespread attention, and it's really highlighted the advanced capabilities of deepfake technologies and the potential for creating entirely fake identities. In response to this, tech companies including Facebook, now Meta, Microsoft, leading universities launched what they call the Deepfake Detection Challenge, and the aim was to encourage the development of tools to identify and mitigate deepfakes. In 2022, deepfake advanced into voice cloning, realistic voice cloning that were hard to detect. And also a lot of deepfakes surfaced during the Russian-Ukrainian conflict, spreading disinformation, like a fabricated video of the Ukrainian president calling for Ukrainian troops to surrender. And now in 2014, we have real-time deepfakes, where deepfakes can be done live. As I'm presenting, someone will be literally creating a deepfake of me. Why is this a problem? The market for deepfakes is huge. There's so many people out there wanting to do bad things, I suppose. The deepfake AI market is projected to surge from $17 billion in 2014 to $38.5 billion in 2013, which is just staggering. And this is a problem because deepfakes are dangerous. They cause a lot of harm. For example, in business, they spread misinformation, disinformation. They're used for a lot of financial scam, fraud. They hurt people's reputation, they damage trust, and there are lots of legal and ethical challenges associated with it as well. Deepfakes are created using deep learning algorithms, particularly generative adversarial networks, GANs, or convolutional neural networks, CNNs. These technologies would identify and learn from large amounts of data to generate realistic looking fake media. With the GANs, two neural networks are trained on a data set of real images, videos, or audios. Well, the networks are called the generator and the discriminator. So the generator creates the fake media, and then the discriminator evaluates the authenticity of the media and compares it with real example. And these two networks, they actually work against each other, compete with each other, continuously improving so that the discriminator can no longer tell the difference between what is real and fake. And that's where the challenge lies. It becomes really difficult to predict what is real or what is not, because they are constantly evolving. CNNs, on the other hand, are really good at recognizing and replicating image patterns such as facial features, so they also which makes them really effective at creating deepfakes. So how can we detect deepfakes? The big question. In comes deepfake detection technology. So fortunately, advancement in AI have also yielded powerful deepfake detection tools. So the things people used to create it also used to detect it, which is an irony, I suppose. So deepfake detection technologies use a combination of deep learning algorithms, forensic analysis, advanced images, video and audio analysis techniques, and sometimes blockchain and digital marketing to pinpoint inconsistencies in media that are invincible to the human eye. So they can use a variety of techniques to distinguish between what is AI generated and what is authentic. In videos, they would look at inconsistencies in face and eye movements. So they look for natural face movements such as blinking or eye movements, and then which deepfake algorithms can't replicate accurately. And then they will also look for lighting and shadows. Deepfake videos are not consistent in lighting and shadows. So it's easy for the algorithms to pick this up. And then resolution mismatches. So deepfake videos sometimes exhibit inconsistencies in resolution, particularly around the edge, around the faces, or where the face meets the background, such as in face swapping. So these technologies are good at picking that up. In audio, they will look for things like lip syncing, so the algorithm will compare your lip movement with your spoken words to detect any mismatches. And then the audio frequencies sometimes can be inconsistencies. So again, deep learning technologies can pick these up as well. And then machine learning is also used. So machine learning data sets are trained on large amounts of data containing real and fake videos to learn the subtle little differences between them. And once trained, these machine learning models can detect deepfakes by identifying patterns that are not easy for the human eyes to notice. So let's come to our review. So the purpose of our review really was to assess the effectiveness of existing deepfake detection tools to understand the current landscape and identify any gaps. We selected the tools based on research, which we did, and also the popularity of the tools. So some of these tools are mentioned in all media, news, in the press and things like that. So that's how we selected them. And then we did a test of a sample of them just to check their accuracy based on their self-reported accuracies to see how they did. So let's go into it. So this is a snapshot of the companies we looked at. We started off looking at 35 tools, but only 30 of them specifically are for deep fake detections. Others focused on things like narrative tracking, AI content detection, and academic integrity. So the key findings and insights we got. First thing, the effectiveness. A lot of these tools didn't really do what they said on the tin. A lot of them, the emphasis was on video deepfakes. So there weren't that many that actually were for audio and text, and audios are becoming really popular these days. So that is something. And then the accuracy was a little bit of a challenge. There was a lot of self-reported accuracy out there, but it didn't really match up, and they were not really reliable at doing what they did. In terms of maturity, a lot of them were quite early stages, and even the older companies out there only started or pivoted into deepfake detection really recently. So a lot of them were really, really early stage startups. In terms of accessibility, it varied. For most of them, you needed to subscribe. Some of them offered like free basic tools where you could use that had limited capabilities, really. and some of them were Chrome plugins, but for the bulk of them, you had to subscribe to use them. So a lot of the common challenges were the maturity. They were all early stage and they had different accessibility. So it just really made it challenging. And then getting data sets was also a challenge as well. The overall, the deepfake detection market is emerging. It's new. Deepfakes is a really, really important area, but detection is really emerging. So it's really playing catching up to the creation. But there's optimism because a lot of people are out there doing things. And then a lot of the detection companies focused on videos, you know, so there were not a lot of multimodal solutions. That's i.e. solutions that did everything from video detection to audio detection to text detection and the like. So that's also a challenge in that area. So it's a pressing thing, but you know, I mean, there's a lot of innovation going on in the field. So maybe in the next coming year or so, a lot of these challenges might be addressed. So, you know, I wanted to give you guys a live demo of one of the tools we looked at, which is True Media. I chose this because first it's multimodal, i.e. it offers a wide variety of, you can do video detection, audio detection, and social media detection as well. True Media combines five or six different AI tools actually. So they don't actually create theirs, they kind of like combine different tools into one tool. So you have like, you know, I mean, a holistic solution. So the tools they use a tool called the Hive. They use Get Clarity, Reality Defender, Sensity AI, AI or not, this and the like. So let's do the test. Let's go in really quickly. So I'm gonna, whoopsie daisy, sorry. I will just go back. My apologies. The challenges of live testing. Okay. Okay. So let's do it. So with True Media, you can test social media posts. So now there are so many social media posts out there, or you can test media as well. So I'm just gonna like get a video. So from my stock, I'll pick any videos. So in fact, I'll test this Nancy Pelosi's one that we used before. So you select your video. So it could be a video or an image or audio clip. You log in and then it starts going through the motion. Like to make sure.
I'm talking about my stock.
So it starts analyzing the face and the voice. And then it goes through. So already it's showing us that the voice is deepfake. It's 100% confident it's deepfake. It thinks the face isn't manipulated. So it's 100% confident for audio analysis, little evidence for gen, audio forensic comes in, you know, so this is basic, it's a basic example of how one of these tools we tested works. We can test any other videos if you have them. You can drop. Okay. Whoops. I guess.
Hey, Omo, sorry. Is truemedia.org, is that open source or?
True Media, oh, sorry, I should have said that. True Media is not open source. So, but it's free to use, but it's not open source. You need to get permission to use it. And I believe they have a huge waiting list, but you can apply for permission and they will give it to you.
And I did notice it's a nonprofit, so.
It is a nonprofit and they focus mainly on political deepfakes.
Yeah, the person who founded True Media was the senior tech guy at Paul Allen's Center for Applied AI. So he's really well known, super techie, well respected, and he sees this problem in particular relating to elections, things like that. So he started this organization, and they're a little difficult to get a hold of. It's not like it's a platform that you can just use. You got to ask for permission, and typically when you get permission, you only get permission to use it for 24 hours, which is not terribly helpful. They've just recently finally gave us permission for longer period testing. So it's kind of been a little frustrating. They do, again, have multiple tools on one platform. So you'll see results from several tools. So it's nice. You can kind of get, if you know 4 tools say this thing's likely a deep fake, you have higher level of trust in that evaluation. But this just kind of proves there's issues with all these tools. Every one of them, the ones that are freely available, and there's only 7 or so of them, they all have various restrictions and limitations that just tell you that the market is just not that mature, and the people that are working on it are typically working on contracts with the government or something, and they're not sharing what they're doing. And that's unfortunate.
It is. So we tested 9, 10 of these tools. The results were varied. So there was a variability in the performance. The accuracy levels were just all over the place, and none of them matched up to their self-reported accuracies. I think well, I'm not going to go into and then the performance was inconsistent across all the test scenarios, all of them.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of these companies, they all tell you how wonderful the tools perform. And then you test them, just a few anecdotal tests, and they're way below the 98, 99% that they claim. The other problem is that they'll only let you, if you go to AI or not, for example, they'll only let you run 10 images through, and then you're cut off. But you can't
Yeah.
really do a robust test. You want to have a data set with, 1,000 fakes and 1,000 true images and run it through the system and see what happens. So our hands were really tied by this, since the effort only ran over a few months, and we were trying to find the companies, trying to reach out to them, trying to get access. It was a challenge. So it's something we certainly want to continue looking at in a more thorough, deeper way.
In a deeper way. And because most of these companies are new, a lot of the products are still beta, so we need to do more testing. There's need for further evaluation, bigger data sets, but we need these companies to be more mature and more of them to come out there. So that's the landscape for now, and just in case anybody wants to go out there to look for one of these solutions, we can't recommend anyone, because I think it will depend on your specific need, because they all do different things and they concentrate on different media. So it depends on what you want to do. But a good thing is to possibly maybe look for a solution that is multimodal, i.e. it offers detections across audio, videos, images, and text, and social media. So if you can find one of those, and just check that they use advanced AI or machine learning algorithms, because these things keep changing. So you want one, if I jump to number 0.7, you need one that offers regular updates. And you need, check if you can for a solution that has trained its the app or the solution over a diverse set of training data. Because one of the things I think we saw is they keep using the same data over and over. And then you want to also check that it has real-time processing. And then the results are transparent and explainable. Because some of the tools, for example, they will just, the results is like, it will just say it's human. What does that mean? Or some will be like, it's AI. What does that mean? So you want something that actually explains the results so you understand what's going on. And then just to summarize what we did, the tools we looked at, this results actually point to an ongoing challenge in the deepfake detection landscape, where tools are still being developed, their capabilities are still developing, and they are struggling to have tools, or the tools out there don't actually support diverse media types or sophisticated deepfake techniques, because a lot of them failed on the more sophisticated deepfakes. So in summary, our findings highlight the dynamic and evolving nature of deepfake detection technologies. Some tools demonstrate very promising results. Some of them actually struggle to achieve minimum accuracy. But it underscores the ongoing challenge of developing robust and reliable deepfake technology solutions that can address sophisticated deepfakes. So more research is needed, more evaluation is needed to ensure that the deepfake detection tools out there keep up to pace with the deepfake technologies that are coming out on a daily basis.
Yeah, I wanted to add a couple of things, or at least I want to mention that
Go on.
certainly the big boys, LinkedIn in particular, I've heard them speak about their technology. They're developing internal tools that they use, and they're really on a bleeding edge of these technologies, but they don't want to share what they're doing because then someone will overcome it and start attacking them. So they're publishing papers, but there are always one or two techniques behind in the papers that they're publishing. There's a big issue with people creating fake accounts at LinkedIn or a collection of fake accounts. And what they do is create fake images. So LinkedIn has developed technologies to survey all the images on their site and identify the fake images and to see where accounts are, where there's fraud going on and inappropriate activity. I wish we could get access to those tools, look at them and test them. We can certainly try to do that in the future, but I think the best work in this field is going on at the large vendors like a LinkedIn and a Google and companies like that. The other thing is I wanted to mention was we talked about really there's a multi-layer approach. Deepfake detection technology is not going to solve this problem alone. You may have a detection model that's trained on a certain data set, but it's really bad at other types of data. And that's another big issue that came up with all of this is just trying to find data sets that we could use to do testing was a challenge. We stumbled across a whole host of them in the last few weeks. But again, we were unable to test large data sets on the tools that we could get access to. So we got the survey, we looked at 30-some companies, we did a number of different things, but there's a lot more work that needs to be done on this. And we're hoping to continue forward with that.
Yes. So future work, standardization. So one of the things, there are no standardized benchmarks. We need to test all the things that Ed just said. And I think ongoing, maybe we need deepfake detection literacy courses. So where from a young age, people just start learning to be able to critically analyze any image or videos they see. And then, you know what I mean? So they can assess whether they are real or not, and it's something that people possibly need to start doing. But that is the end of this webinar. I think we'll have, if you have comments, I saw a comment on there about a survey paper. So I think a paper will come out based on the findings in the, Tom can speak to that later. But thank you very much for listening. Thank you for coming. I've not gone through the comments, but I will. And
hey, Omo, I did have one comment, a discussion that I had about a month ago. I met a gentleman who was customer account security at Coinbase, and he said that they have moved to, in order to protect accounts and authenticate account users to their Coinbase account, they take a video of their users speaking and turning their heads from side to side. And he said right now AI doesn't do lips very well, and so they're able to quickly determine whether or not it's the real customer video or a fake deep fake. But he said that all the folks at Coinbase are expecting that in 6 to 9 months, that deep fake creation will do quite well on lips and lip syncing. And Coinbase plans to go to a personal device, personal hardware keys in order to authenticate accounts. So they're going to move away from things like video or photos, etc.
Yeah,
Be interesting.
I think two of the companies we looked at actually do liveness tests, where they, so which is checking that you're a real person. I think one of the two. So I think it's a possibly a growing area as well. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, Intel was doing something fascinating. I can't remember. It was something about color temperature or something in videos to detect deepfakes. And I thought, oh, this is fantastic. And then they just drifted away. This was back in 2021. They were posting, press releases and things like that. And you saw a little more activity in 22. You can't find anything on it. And that tells me that when Intel, with all their money and resources, struggles with this is really a hard problem to solve. And so my whole comment about a multi-layered approach, we did a lot of research on this topic for a while here. And, there's a guy named Hani Farid who runs the Berkeley lab, and he actually launched a company with a platform. He just recently did this. But in an interview I saw of him, he said, ideally you would have some technology that adds credentials right when content is created. And there is actually a partnership between a company called Qualcomm, everyone knows, and TruePic, where they take the C2PA content credentials and put them on a Snapdragon chip, and that's captured right at content creation. Then on the server side, Gen AI companies, they'll be watermarking and identifying content as it's created on their servers. You combine those two things with these sort of analysis techniques like deepfake detection with regulatory pressure. You got to have meaningful carrots and sticks with that pressure. You've got to have something, and it's typically lawsuits or the threat of jail, which make you say, and I'm not going to take the chance and do that. So it's going to have to be a multi-layered approach. But the fact that AI puts this incredible power in everybody's hands, virtually free, and social media spreads it across billions of people in the world, this has become, along with a number of other things, a real serious problem. And so right now there aren't really, I'd like to say, hey, we found this one tool and it's fantastic and it solves all our problems, but that's unfortunately not the case.
And we do have results of that sort of we'll go into more detail than what you just went through here, Omo. That's forthcoming, correct?
Yeah.
This is Paula. This was an excellent presentation, and so glad you guys are having this series. Anything that you've read about possibly leveraging blockchain as a way of having legitimate postings done, or AI generated things, so that a user would know that whether they're looking at the real thing? Any come across anything blending the two or looking at that?
None of the tools I looked at actually use blockchain, but in the research, I came across, instances that some companies were using blockchain, but none of the companies that I actually looked at use blockchain for their tools, their solutions.
All right. Thank you so much. This was
And
very
if anybody
good.
on
Thank you.
here, has insight into that, has an article or something they could share, please do. This is one of the main challenges we have. There's so many super powerful bleeding edge technologies like blockchain, like artificial intelligence, like biohacking, things like this that are all emerging at once right now that, that they can add to our solutions and they can also add to our headaches. So any insights you can give me, but overall, I think for Omo, bless her heart, she was trying to get a hold of these companies and work with them and on. It's been a challenge. It really has, because the few that seem to have, companies that were written up in New York Times or Washington Post or whatever, they have a handful of small government contracts and they're not willing to talk.
Yeah.
And even the ones that were willing to talk, they're only going to tell you so much. And one company was like, oh, just give us a batch of data and send it to us and we'll run it through for you. And I'm like, well, that's the, I'll trust those results and not. So it would be wonderful if someone had a third party objective lab that had data sets that were third party and trustable, and had a handful of platforms that could test them all in the same way and then truly compare the results. That's what we had hoped to do. We haven't done it to the level we had hoped to do, but maybe we'll get that done in the next several months. That's a decision we have to make inside of the lab.
Well, Omo, thank you very much. That was great.
Thank you.
Ed, thank you as well for your contributions.
So, if there are no more questions, we put up here a slide with just a couple of the many courses we have coming up, just showing a couple of examples. One is AI for Leaders. Another one is about an agile framework for developing, called Terrain, for developing AI solutions. Those will both be in September. So you can also, I guess the next slide, please. We've got upcoming webinars. I think the big one is next week, where we're going to have one back, Omo, please. We have our third actual meetup at the Columbia, Maryland facilities, where we're going to have actually a few folks from the lab presenting data reports on what they've been doing this summer on their testing. So that should be really interesting. And that's a week from today in Columbia, Maryland at 5 o'clock. Normally, I would say to join our Slack community, but we're cutting over to Discord. And I know we sent out an announcement. If you're already a member of the Slack community, we're sending announcements out in the C4AI announcements section. So you got to go there and look at that and see how to cut over to the Discord group. If you're new to this, you can just take the QR code here and click through and join afresh. We want to hear from you if you guys have any suggestions on sort of topics you want us to focus on, how we structure these sessions, any sort of feedback. We'd love to hear from you. You can reach us out to us at info@c4ai.ai. And you can certainly go to the website at c4ai.ai. And if you want to just reach out to us about how we might serve you, do it at info@c4ai.ai as well. That concludes the webinar. Hopefully we'll get a paper out soon. I actually put my email address in here if people have questions they want to send me. Thank you everybody very much for joining us. Have a great day, and hopefully we'll see you the next time. Hopefully we'll see you at the meetup.